What up everyone, B More here with another Ghost Recon Breakpoint video. Today's video will be an interview with the #1 player on PC for Ghost War. While you're going to have to excuse some of the choppiness of the edit because I felt it was important to highlight the good things that were said in the interview since it did span over an hour. Let me set the scene of the interview. I invited Cage into a 1v1 custom match with a list of questions for him to answer and give out to the audience, as well as I edited myself out of the video mostly because you get my perspective all the time when it comes to my videos. While I may be good at the game, what it takes to be great and a top 10 player or top 5 player is dedication, time, willingness to learn, and communication. You won't get that listening to me all the time, so I'm going to walk through this interview with the one and only Cage. And I will drop a link to his Twitch and YouTube video in my description. Do me a favor, instead of subscribing to me, go over to Cage's Twitch and YouTube channel and drop him a like or follow. He needs that same motivation you guys always give me, and as always, I don't want to waste anyone's time, so let's dive right in. The first question will be about his experience, and I think it's important to note how he emphasizes team play over solo play, and how he got better by extending a hand versus trying to call people cheaters. You should really give it a listen.
Well, so for Wildlands, I did play it. I played the crap out of it. I completed 100% all the PvE first, and I went in to do PvP. I played PvP for a bit. I was just kind of just like, well, this is fun, but it's not fun by myself, and I kind of stopped. And I think that's like my #1 mistake of solo queuing, because these games are definitely a team-based game. Oh, I was terrible. I started solo queuing, and I was one of those kids that just called everyone a freaking hacker because they were better than me, and I was getting shot from every other angle. Like, until finally that I just got tired of being beat. And my one buddy, I will say he is the best player in this game. His name is DFI. This dude will take on anyone, anything, and he was just good. That was it. He was just really good. And I messaged him one day. I was like, hey, can I play with you? Can you teach me how to get better? And that's kind of what happened. He was just like, yeah, sure. And I basically I had to suck up my pride and be like, hey, I'm sorry, I was a shitty person. Can you forgive me? And he said, okay, yeah, you can come play with me and teach you how to play and give you some pointers. I was like, sweet. So that's what kind of happened.
Okay, so you can tell he didn't get better by himself. He went out of his way to seek help and get better. And that's probably the big difference between him and a lot of other people. Instead of calling people hackers or cheaters, he still went out of his way to go out and get better, and he still is human. He still gets killed. He gets killed by strafe glitchers just like everybody else. So surprisingly, the direction he would like to see the game will probably surprise you. The question I asked him next was, which direction would you like to see Ghost War go? Arcade or competitive?
I mean, when it comes to competitive, I think they should build up their arcade before they start on competitive. Honestly, for PC, they don't have a big enough player base to be competitive right now. They have literally 100 maps in the Erewhon map itself, and they can take those, they can make bigger maps, they can add 10 to 10, 10v10 with bigger maps, they can add domination, they can add capture the flag. So like, they can do all that. There's just so much wasted potential that Ubisoft Paris is not working with, and I just feel so bad for it, because every other AAA game in the world right now is doing something good with it, and this game's just like, oh, we're gonna stick to the same stuff that failed in Wildlands.
The next question is a breakdown of what he thinks makes a good player. This is probably my favorite part of the interview, as it really gives you a deep dive into what he thinks about as his team tries to control the map. This is probably the most important part of the interview, so do not skip this part at all. Listen to what he says about looking at items and how it reveals player position.
if your team has map knowledge, all 4 of you, you can easily see, hey, supplies were picked up here. Supplies were picked up here. Let's go here. Let's go to the other side since all these supplies were picked up. They're pushing this way. You can set up traps. You can set up ambushes. You can flank around, or you can push in the center. Like, just knowing where people might go just from playing for so long and just putting out. Like right now, I'm looking at my right side. I'm looking out at the grass out here, and basically, if I don't see you, I'm gonna say you're either pushing or you're sitting in the back. But then I go, oh snap, I'm up top and you don't have any gear taken on the left side. And then you just shot at me, which means you're on the right. And now you're in the back. Like, just having regular map knowledge just from playing the game and knowing where people have been or where they could be is a #1 thing. If you have a full squad that knows how to do that, you're easily going to know where people are. Like on a shrine, you always get people that hide up on that one hilltop with that one house. Like the one overlooking everyone. And what's the #1 thing I say to you every single time? I'm like, hey, we got 2 noobs. They just started playing the game. They're going to be up top. And guess where they are? Every time. Every time. They're always up top. New players always go up there because they go, hey, I can see everything. But the thing is, everybody can see you. If it's daytime, you can be seen. If you can see them, they can see you.
How important is gear to the #1 player in the US of A? His answer will not surprise you. I say this all the time, that if you want to be the best player in PvP, to give yourself the best chance, you're going to have to do the raid. There is no way around it. Listen to him explain how he learned his lesson of how important gear is after his character was deleted.
Gear is super important. When my character got deleted, literally I went back in the next day and I was like, hey, let me play with a bunch of buddies. Let me play with this all new gear. Let me see how hard it is. I am very skillful with the M4A1. I can hit people 200 meters away in the head every single time. And when I tried to do that with a new character with white guns, I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn 50 meters away. I was literally single firing that weapon just to hit a person. And that's when I found out that gear actually does matter. And it's like you're sitting there, and if you have someone with a gold weapon with 30 accuracy, 30 handling, and they have M4A1 versus a guy with the blue 10 accuracy, 10 handling on M4A1, even if the guy with the blue gun has a better shot, the one with the yellow is gonna win every time. Unless he's just terrible, because that yellow weapon has such a big difference on how far and how accurate you can shoot. And it is also not just the accuracy and handling. That's like 80%. The other 20% is the mod you put on your gun. Those judge pants, those gloves, those good gear. I mean, if you don't want to do it, you're going to be at a disadvantage all the time. So, you know, I don't feel bad for using it, because if you actually want to put the time into the game, go do the raid, go get that gear, you're going to have an advantage because you put your time in to better yourself. And that's how life is. If you want to better yourself, you're going to have an advantage over people who just want to play.
Now, this last segment isn't really a question. It's more of what would you say about the developers and Ubisoft Paris in general. And I think his message is sort of important, that we still need to speed up these updates to the game or the franchise will continue to be stale.
Short and simple, they dropped the ball. They just really need to go back to their roots, play games, find out what is good and what people want. And they should take this game right now and give it off to someone who knows how to make good games. Or knows how to, like, even update games. Like, they keep saying they're going to update stuff and they're going to do other stuff. And it takes them 2 or 3 months. They don't even do anything in between. They don't even do small updates. Like, you watch other AAA games and they have an update every 1 to 2 weeks to fix small problems. This game is just like, oh no, we're going to do one update to do everything all at once 6 months later. Well, in 6 months, the game's dead. You lost half your player base. And then the next update comes 6 months later. And then they lost another half of that player base. And just so on and so on. That's how Wildlands died. And that's how this game's going to die.
I think that those words ring true and have more of a lasting impact on more than just me. I can attest that Cage has genuinely tried to grow the PC community with a Discord of over 100 people. He has really helped out a lot of people get better at the game just from his knowledge. Like I said before, instead of giving me any likes, follows, go over to Cage's channel, drop him a follow or a sub because he needs that motivation, and maybe this motivation will do it. Anyway guys, until the next one, be more.